Up with KREM begins now.
6:30 this morning, and schools in Washington and Idaho are closed through the rest of the year. We hear reactions from high school seniors this morning. And the University of Washington has changed its prediction for when the coronavirus death toll is expected to peak in Washington. This morning, we take a closer look at some of the ways that make their model change. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Joshua Robinson, and today we continue to bring you the latest local coverage while we are also participating in social distancing. And just like so many of you are doing, my teammates are working from home. We're joined by Dana Marie McNichol, Jen York, and Evan Narani. We're going to begin this morning by checking in with Evan for a closer look at what we can expect on our Tuesday. I heard you talking about the 60s, Evan?
Yeah, 60s, and as we head toward the weekend, about your Thursday and Friday, near 70-degree temperatures in the forecast. So real warm up on the way, very spring-like conditions. Take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for today. It's upper 50s and low 60s. This strong climb in temperatures is going to take some time to really show itself to us. But upper 50s and low 60s for today, mostly sunny skies out there, a little bit of a breeze that hangs out. You can see your wind gusts are going to pick up toward your afternoon and your evening hours to the 15 and maybe 20-mile-per-hour range into your Wednesday as well, before things calm down by about Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. What we have as far as your astronomy forecast goes, which is very exciting, is the pink supermoon. That's right, that will hit its peak tonight. It is at about 7:35 that we'll see the peak of the supermoon, and we call it the pink supermoon because it is the first one of the month of April. The first full moon of each month has its own name, so it is not because that supermoon will actually look pink, but just because of the name that it's been given. It is a supermoon, though, meaning that it may appear larger in the sky to the naked eye. So if you're outside, maybe getting a quick astronomy lesson or giving one to the kids, then this is a great time to teach them about those full moons and what they mean. And it's great conditions outside to be able to enjoy it, too, with temperatures warming up and the sunset coming closer to about 7 p.m. tonight. So it will be perfect to watch the sunset and then see that peak supermoon. I'll send things back to you, Joshua.
Evan, thank you very much. 6:32 now this morning, and here are three things that you need to know today about the coronavirus. Number one, Spokane Pride 2020 has been postponed. Organization leaders made the announcement yesterday on social media, and that event is now scheduled to take place October 17th. Now, Starbucks will require its employees to wear non-medical facial coverings at work. Starbucks already has had to close all of its cafes in the United States. Stores, of course, are still operating on a drive-through and delivery basis only due to the coronavirus concerns. Starbucks shops in or around hospitals and other healthcare centers will also remain open to support workers and first responders. And there's new testing in Florida that's helping communities around the nation. This test looks for a person's antibodies and the proteins that the immune system makes to attack the coronavirus. Now, the goal is to clear up the chaotic picture of just how widespread the virus might be.
I think any kind of testing that could give us better insight into the burden of infection and the number of individuals who are asymptomatic but infected is critically important.
Now, leaders at the University of Miami say that the testing will help will help our local governments and national governments plan their response. Meanwhile, some students across the state of Washington were holding out hope that they would be able to return to school. We're joined now by Jen York, who's going to tell us more about some of the reactions we are seeing from local high school seniors. Good morning, Jen.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, it's a special time for seniors, of course, at the end of high school, also in college, so definitely can feel for them this morning, as we now know that Washington has canceled all in-person classes for the remainder of the school year, as well as Idaho, we should mention this morning. So it applies to grades through K through 12, so all of high school, though students still will need to do online learning. Meanwhile, the governor is urging educators to get creative.
Look, there's a reality we've got to face. In the next several weeks, our K through 12 schools are not going to be the best they've ever been. But they can be the most creative, they can be the most dedicated, they can be the most passionate of bringing everything we've got to the education of our students. I think that's what we ought to be doing.
Well, Governor Inslee says he does not want to risk spreading the coronavirus if classes resume too early. Now, during the closures, though, schools will still provide meal services. Now, across state line, Idaho schools also again closed for the remainder of the school year. The Idaho State Board of Education reports schools will reopen when health leaders say it's safe. Now, when that time comes, when it is deemed safe, individual school districts will decide when classes will resume. And of course, high school students are going to be missing prom this year. That's a rite of passage for most people. Graduation up in the air as well. Now, we spoke to 2 high school seniors who say this year is memorable, but not in the way they hoped.
I had really high hopes when this whole thing started. I thought it would just last a couple weeks, maybe a month, but now that it's like officially over, I'm down in the dumps. My saddest personally is not being able to walk, at graduation.
I'll back out here live in my kitchen this morning. Joshua will send things back to you. You have to feel for these seniors.
Yeah, that period, those last few months of school and the end of high school, you look back and sometimes those are some of the lasting memories that you have when you think back to your high school days. So yeah, we feel for all those students. We know this is a tough time, but we're also all determined to get back to a sense of normalcy as soon as we can. Thank you for bringing us that story, Jen, as we hit 6:36 this morning. It's time now for us once again to check in with our own Dana Marie McNichol, who is joining us this morning with our Reason to Smile on Tuesday. And we're giving it another shot, Dana Marie. It's this story is all right.
All right, if you recognize that, you probably know this story, and today's Reason to Smile is brought to you by Matthew McConaughey and a very special game of bingo. So he surprised a group of senior citizens living in Texas at a home right now, and he jumped into their virtual bingo game. He even called out the letters, and the smiles on their faces are just incredible. Take a listen.
We got an I-24, I-24. Oh! Richard Blunt is waving a hammer up high. Well, we got Charles Kings in the iPad up high. We got 2 winners. Look at this, look at that board.
Well, when bingo was called, the winner actually got to ask McConaughey a question as their prize. The Texas native's 2 children was with him. He's isolating with them, his wife, and also his mom, Kay. They made an appearance on that game. So a social media post from the senior living community shared that the residents loved talking with Matthew about his family heritage, his favorite drink, and what he's doing specifically to, deal with and get through this crisis. The staff can't interact with the residents the way they normally do, so they've been trying to do everything possible to uplift them virtually, and this did it, right? So that's what they said according to a social media post. I just think this is such a fun, unique way, and it shows that even an hour of your time makes a big difference to communities that can't really do their own grocery shopping or get that social interaction in the way that maybe some other people can because they're a vulnerable population. I love this story. Joshua?
Oh, I love this story too, and I want to let our viewers at home know that the first time we ran this story in our 5 o'clock half hour, I kind of put you on the spot, asked you to do an impression of Matthew as well, but I have another question for you. Let's say you won that bingo game. Do you have a question you would like to ask Matthew if you had the chance, like if you're holding up a winning bingo card?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I would ask him what it's like working with Anne Hathaway. I love Anne Hathaway. She's one of my favorite actresses, and they recently did a movie together. But also, I just love his laid-back personality and how he seems to just make everyone feel at ease. Like, I feel like I should be laying back in my chair right now, like watching some football. He has such a great Texas accent, too. I don't know. He's obviously has a lot of notoriety for a good reason, very talented actor.
I would ask him what he really drives, because we see so many of those car commercials. I want to know what he really actually drives. Just saying. That's what I would ask him. Thank you for bringing us this fantastic story, Dana Marie. We appreciate it. As it's 6:39 this morning. Taking a live look outside, shaping up to be a nice day. Evan comes back in just a little bit to tell you more about what you can expect on your Tuesday forecast. But before we go to break, we want to check out some of our local seniors from Fairwinds who are learning how to lip sync to music icon Whitney Houston's songs. This is great.